the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome in to the Dirt Racing Network's live coverage of the Hales Corner Speedway Sim Racing League Street Stocks at Volusia. Show number 1. Drivers with about 3.5 minutes of practice left. They will have their drivers meeting shortly before qualifying. Watching our quick car in practice right now. That 41 machine of Ryan Fisher, quickest in practice. 22 machines checked in for it. 25 lap feature on the docket at the end of session number 1 here. About 2 weeks left in the season for these guys, and I took a look at the points. Reed Rundle still out in front, 14 markers. Ahead of Nick Sobiak. Sobiak right now on the board. Second quick. So it looks like the 23 car ready to go at it tonight. Andy Gross in third in the points. Andy Gross 25 points behind your leader, 11 points out of second. Jason Schilling in fourth, and Rick Tackman sitting in the fifth spot in points right now. Reed Rundle in the house. He is on pit road, just waiting for things to get going tonight. 8th quick overall in the practice session. Usually doesn't mean a whole lot. We'll see that 43 car close to the front. Here earlier this year, way back in October with these guys. I think they started their season off here. Jason Schilling picked up the win. Matt Urban, Derek Failing, Rick Tackman, and Peter Brees were your top 5 that night. We'll see how those guys shake out tonight here in the return. So about a minute and 25 seconds, we'll get ready to head over to public address. Get our invocation, our national anthem out of the way here in just a few seconds. And come back towards the end of qualifying for these guys and be ready to line up your heat races this evening.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
And now, please welcome Pastor Sam Foley from Port Orange, Florida, to deliver tonight's invocation.
Father, we ask today that you protect and bless those who participate in this race. May they use good sportsmanship and respect for each other. And we'll thank you and praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, as always, thank you to both of the Foleys, the Reverend and the Councilman. Watching Reed Rundle put down his time currently. Nick Sobiek right now quickest, 20.075 seconds. Reed Rundle 20.230, so a good bit off in his attempt. Right now, Trevor Frank, Ryan Fisher, your top 3 in qualifying, behind Sobiek. 20.164 seconds moves him all the way to 5th. Looking for that 14 machine. Where is our man in the 14 car? Andy Gross, 8th quick. So it's Sobiek, Trevor Frank, Ryan Fisher, J.J. Schilling, Reed Rundle, your top 5. Then Johnson, Kinjerski, Gross all the way up to the 8th spot. Matson and Brees. 21 of our 22 cars have taken time. It looks like now all 22 as Zach Krieger. 20.885 seconds, good for 21st of 22. So everybody's taking time. Drivers meeting going on. Guys getting ready to get out here. We should have at least 2, I think possibly 3 heat races. Definitely 2. May have gotten just over the threshold to make it a 3 heat night. We will be taking 5 cars from each heat, moving them directly to the feature. We'll find the remaining cars out of the B main to make 20 for our feature race. Good to see people in chat. Thank you very much for being here. Always a pleasure. Don't forget YouTube and Twitch. Subscribe to the channel, and over on Facebook, come to the Dirt Racing Network. Like, share, and follow. Get to know every single time we go live. Qualifying session winding down. Don't forget, this is show number 3 of 5 tonight. We will follow these guys here in the street stocks with the same group at the same track back here at Volusia in the limited late models. Round number 2, they should go about 9:15 Eastern. And then Dominic Santino will have Dirt Kings 358 mods over at Lanier. 3 heat races. Divided up into 3 heat races. For this one right here, it'll be the 18 of Jordan Matson on the pole, and on his outside, Skis Graphics number 15 of David Kinjerski. Row 2 on the inside, the 1 car of JJ Schilling. On the outside of him, your quick qualifier for the evening, the RLV Faster Motors VLR number 23 from Big Bend, Wisconsin, Nick Sobiek. 3rd row on the inside, Sorens Ford number 11 out of Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, Ricky Johnson. And on his outside, John Brunner in the 46. And a 4th row on the inside, the Black Flag Racing number 10 from West Dallas, Wisconsin, Tony Ichkowski. And to his outside in the 4 car, Justin Blackburn. Right now I do not see the 10 car on the grid, so Ichkowski may not be making that call. Get ready to let the... There he is. There's your 8th car. Get ready to let these guys roll free. Couple of quick pace laps here. We'll cut these guys loose. Top 5 goes straight to the feature. Should have about 7 or 8 cars in our B main, and we're only going to be looking for 5 out of that. So one more time around. Then that pace truck will dive hard left right there at the entrance to the pits in turn 4. Will be green this time. Pace truck gonna make the hard left right there, waiting on green laundry. There it is out of turn 4. We are underway. Kinjerski with just a little bit of contact there with Matson as they headed down the front stretch. And now Kinjerski's going to get away with the lead out of 2, it looks like. And Nick Sobiek is going to tuck right up tight behind him. Now he's going to stick it in the middle of a 3 wide. Tiny bit of contact there. Matson spins the car on the inside. He found that big, giant implement tire there going through turn 4. And now our battle is going to be between Kinjerski and Sobiek for the lead. Schilling has settled into third. Then Ricky Johnson and Tony Ichkowski up to fifth. And Sobiek led a lap number 2. He's down on the inside. Kinjerski still working on the top side, trying to get that 15 car wound up and slide by the 23. Had it at the line by half a car that time. Good battle for our lead here, side by side since the drop of the green flag. Both drivers able to make their chosen line work. Now Sobiek with a little advantage out of 4. But Kinjerski drives right back by on the top side. Kinjerski just can't clear him and secure the spot. Maybe this time down the backstretch out of 2. Sobiek got just a little out of shape. Now Kinjerski with a full car length has the lead. JJ Schilling's working to the top side at the halfway point. He's trying to take a spot away. Now going to cut it to the inside out of turn 2. Schilling, a little bit of an advantage into 3. Does he have it coming out of 4? At the line by almost a full car length. Moved J.J. Schilling into the second position, but Sobiek going to fight back on the top side. Just not enough grip to go forward on the exit of 2, and he's going to yield the position. So Kinjerski with 3 to go, and then Schilling is Sobiek now working that crossover line, cut back underneath Schilling. J.J. Schilling trying to keep the power down on the top side of turn 2. He's going to have the spot out of 4, so Schilling securely to second. Sobiek is third. Ricky Johnson back here in 4th, right in front of Tony Ichkowski. Then Brunner, Matson, and Blackburn. Let's go back and watch 2nd and 3rd as they're not done just yet. Schilling keeping it wound up on the top side, but Sobiek worked it down to the inside in 4. We'll see what happens down the backstretch. Now Schilling clears. Car and a half. Can he hang on to the spot into 3? Protects the inside. Kinjerski's going to win it easily. Schilling second. Then Sobiek, Johnson, and Ichkowski, your transfer cars into the A main. Brunner, Matson, and Blackburn have to find one of the 5 remaining spots out of our B. So, heat race number 2. On the pole, the Scribadub Car Wash Black Flag Racing number 8 from Waterford, Wisconsin, Peter Breesen. On his outside, the Renegade Race Cars, Renegade Racing number 67. Out of Hartford, Wisconsin, R.J. Tackman. Second row on the inside, the Buddies Racing Equipment number 43. Out of Oxford, Michigan, Reed Rundle. To his outside, the Raceway Hats Team MAS. Number 021 from Sheboygan, Wisconsin, Trevor Frank. Third row on the inside, the Buddies Racing Equipment I-41 Raceway, number 17 out of Slinger, Wisconsin, Dean Burnt. On the outside of him in the 66 will be Jason Enoch. And rounding out the field in the back on the 27 car, going to be Keegan Bush. So 7 more cars, 10 more heat racing laps, 5 to the feature. The other 2 will go to the B main. All right, pace truck will duck off this time. It'll be up to Peter Brees, R.J. Tackman to get us going. Green flag in the air. Peter Brees with a good start. He'll have the lead into 1 and 2 the first time around. R.J. Tackman fighting on the top side to keep second. Reed Rundle working on the bottom to try to take it away. He's in third. Then Trevor Frank up on the top, that orange and black car. Trying to hang on to fourth. Dean Burnt, that bright yellow, red, and orange machine, sits in your fifth position after a full lap and a half. Watching this battle for second right now. Reed Rundle working off the bottom side. Still not able to clear Tackman, and Tackman's starting to get an advantage off the top side of 2. Here comes Trevor Frank. He's working the top side as well. Rundle pinned down on the bottom right now, and it's working for Brees. It's just not quite the same for Rundle. R.J. Tackman's continuing to work up high. He's going to make a bid to get to the outside of Brees here out of turn 2. Oh, car's contact. Rundle's going to get pounded. That may send Reed Rundle into the B main. That car got hit hard. Left front completely gone on that car. She got way out of shape. Jason Enoch's into the fence in 1 and 2. Right side of his car absolutely annihilated. Back to the front right now. Brees barely hanging on in front of Tackman. This time Tackman in wide, off shallow. Now R.J. Tackman looks like he is going to go to the front. Slides across the nose of the 8 car, made Brees check it up. R.J. Tackman will lead with 4 to go. Dean Burnt in third. Reed Rundle hanging on to a transfer spot, but that is 4th position. Trevor Frank, car that he made contact with while they were battling there, and then it ended up just going awry for Rundle. Frank riding in 5th, and Keegan Bush right behind that. Jason Enoch already to the infield. So we're down to 3 to go. Tackman in front of Brees. R.J. Tackman, 2 to go this time, and he's working higher and higher on the racetrack each lap. Trying to widen this place out. White flag in the air. R.J. Tackman, Peter Brees, Dean Burnt, Reed Rundle, Trevor Frank, your top 5. Tackman got around Brees. Now has put about a half a second on him as they're going to come out of 4 for the checkered flag. Heat 2 will go to the 67 of R.J. Tackman. Peter Brees will go to the A. So will Dean Burnt. Reed Rundle recover, and hopefully they can fix the left front of that car. He's going to go to the feature, and so is Trevor Frank. Keegan Bush and Jason Enoch will be in the B main. All right, 8-3. Lining them up on the front stretch. On the pole, the 34 of Dean Gagliano, and to his outside, the Shark RC Bodies. Gross Racing, number 14 from Hartford, Wisconsin. Andy Gross. Row 2 on the inside, another Shark RC Car Bodies. This is the 112 from Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. Chris Johnson on his outside, the Pincala Auto Solutions. Number 41 out of Oak Creek, Wisconsin, Ryan Fisher. Third row on the inside, the CJR and Pride of Tosa, number 64 from Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, Randy Brunner. On the outside of him in the 77 machine, that's a GB Restoration and Repair car from East Troy, Wisconsin, of Gary Budzine. And on the back row, the 35 of Zach Krieger. I do not think that Budzine is going to make the call, so we may see that 35 car slide to the high side. 6 cars in this one, 5 to the feature, only 1 to the B main. All right, green the next time we come out of 4. Pace truck about to make the hard left turn. Final heat race, session number 1. Street stocks at Volusia Hales Corner Speedway Sim Racing League. About to get underway. Green flag in the air. Gagliano, not a great start, but there's not much you can do when you park next to the 14 car. That guy, the best around here at getting starts and restarts, and he jumped straight to the lead. Here comes Ryan Fisher right behind him. Now, can Fisher put any kind of pressure on the 14 car? Challenging for the heat race win. Gagliano slipped into 3rd. Chris Johnson into 4th. Randy Brunner is 5th. And then Zach Krieger back here in 6th, right where he started. 5 transfer straight through. 1 car has got to go work through the B main. Krieger on the inside of Brunner right there, but I don't think it's going to stick. 2 out of shape in 1 and 2. Gross and Fisher have broken away from 3rd place Dean Gagliano. And right now, looks like Andy Gross just going to hang on and lead. Battle back here for 3rd. Chris Johnson with a slide job in 1 and 2. He'll take over 3rd. Gagliano back to 4th. So move the 112 up a spot. Just don't know if Fisher's going to go after Gross very hard here. Knows he's going to be in the feature if he can just keep it where it's at. Halfway home, final heat race. Gross, Fisher, Johnson, Gagliano, Brunner, Krieger. The running order, and Zach Krieger not falling back off of Brunner. If any mistakes out of Randy Brunner, and he may end up going through the B main. Chris Johnson, after he got around Dean Gagliano, started to put a gap on him. Ryan Fisher took a peek down to the inside in 1 and 2. Just not enough room to make anything happen there. So take a look out of 3 and 4. If there's any grip on the bottom and he finds it, he could be there, and he was there at the line. Ryan Fisher had the lead that time. Slide job across the nose. Don't think it's going to stick. She carried just a little bit too much heat. Gross able to cross him right back over, but Fisher did have the lead the last time by. Coming to 2 to go. Fisher still trying to track down Gross. Had him in his clutches for just a second. The white flag in the air. 1 more lap for heat race number 3. Andy Gross, Ryan Fisher, Chris Johnson, and Gagliano is hanging on to 4th in front of Brunner. Brunner may have to battle on this last lap, but it looks like that time Krieger got way out of shape. That'll seal the deal. As Andy Gross comes out of turn 4, picks up a heat race win. We'll see him in the feature. Ryan Fisher, Chris Johnson, Dean Gagliano, and Randy Brunner are going to be your 5th transfer car. Zach Krieger will be in the B main here in just a moment. All right, scheduled for 7 cars. I think we may end up with 5 or 6 here. I don't see Jordan Matson yet. He's supposed to be on the pole. Zach Krieger on the outside. Row 2, Keegan Bush and John Brunner. And then Jason Enoch scheduled to be back there with Gary Budzine and Justin Blackburn on the back. Right now, I see 7 of our 8 or 7 of our 7 cars, excuse me. There goes the 7th car. Gary Budzine put his on the grid and then took it off. So 5 of these guys will go through, 6 of them out here for the B main. So 6 of them on the track, 5 of them will be in the feature. All right. Green out of 4 this time. B main. There goes our pace truck to the infield. Just waiting for the green laundry. There it is. B main underway. Matson, a little bit of a blink, but a pretty good jump to start things. It looks like Enoch may take a peek down the inside. Oh, there goes Zach Krieger up into the fence. Oh, he's going to collect a couple of cars backwards. That's John Brunner. Brunner may be able to get the car going, but he's really going to be quite a ways behind. Down through 1 and 2, Matson leading Enoch. Blackburn out of shape in the 4 car. Looks like things starting to get a little bit slick out here. Krieger is in 4th, and then Keegan Bush. All right, now in 5th. Brunner is a lap down. So he has taken that car to the infield already. That's probably going to do it for this field. It'll be Matson, Enoch, Blackburn, Krieger, and Bush to the feature. We just got to see what order they're going to finish in. There's Jordan Matson. A full second ahead of Jason Enoch. Justin Blackburn, Zach Krieger, Keegan Bush. Those two are the closest onto the track currently. And Blackburn, that 4 car stays out of shape down in turns 1 and 2. Watch the 4 car down into 1 and 2, and he goes in and gets in that slick and lets that right rear just kind of come around. A little straighter that time than in previous laps. Jordan Matson out in front. 5 down, 10 to go. Enoch still second. Blackburn in 3rd. Keegan Bush got around Zach Krieger. Little damage to the right front of Bush's car. Still able to run it pretty good through 1 and 2. Closing in on Blackburn. We'll come back to that. Right now, halfway home. Matson, Enoch, 1-2. Last lap, Jason Enoch quicker by a fair chunk, about quarter second. Blackburn now getting overtaken by Keegan Bush. Bush went by on the bottom side, so move Bush to 3rd, Blackburn to 4th, and Krieger into the 5th position. Jordan Matson clicks another lap off the counter. You got the 18 car running on the high line, very smooth, albeit a little blinky. 5 to go this time. Enoch still second. Enoch had a little problem that time around. He lost a lot of ground, about 6/10. Keegan Bush, Zach Krieger. And Krieger got it around Blackburn. Blackburn just kind of hanging on back here. Knows he's got a transfer spot. Finish the race. Move on to the feature. Be 3 to go this time for Jordan Matson. Two to go signal this time by for Jordan Matson. Enoch. Bush in the third, a good distance back. Then Krieger and Blackburn right there going into 3. As your leader already halfway down the backstretch. Lap traffic not going to be a thing. So we're going to get the white flag of this time by. So a final set of corners. Jordan Matson looks like he's going to win the B main. Enoch is going to come home in a second. Keegan Bush will come home in third. Zach Krieger's going on to the feature. He's coming home in fourth. And Justin Blackburn will round out your top 5. Those guys in the 25 lap A main here in just a few minutes. So they line them up for our feature race. 25 laps on the big board. Ryan Fisher and Peter Brees on your front row. Then J.J. Schilling and Andy Gross in row 2. Row 3, R.J. Tackman and David Kinjerski. Nick Sobiak and Dean Burnt in a row number 4. Row 5, Chris Johnson and Ricky Johnson. Your 6th row, Reed Rundle and Dean Gagliano. Row 7, Tony Ichkowski and Trevor Frank. Row 8, Randy Brunner, Jordan Matson, Jason Enoch, and Keegan Bush in row 9. And Zach Krieger and Justin Blackburn in your 10th and final row. $20 cars, 25 laps. I do not believe caution laps count in this. These guys should be able to keep this fairly clean. Checking out a little bit of football, guys. Sorry. Got to watch my Chiefs and make sure they're going to be all right. All right, lights will go off on the pace truck this time. We'll go green the next time we reach this spot about right here. Let's see who has the win at the end of this one. Everybody ready to go. Reed Rundle, your points leader. Way back on the inside of the 6th row. A lot of work cut out for him today. All right now, Ryan Fisher, Peter Brees on the front row as the pace truck heads in. Green flag in the air. Yeah, start looked like Soviet got a little out of shape right at the start. He cuts it to the inside, now gets it back in line. Peter Brees off the top side of turn 2. He's going to grab the lead right away. Caution back in the field. Tony Itzkowski backwards in turn 2. And Itzkowski started about 7 rows deep in this thing. He went down into 1 and 2. Had already lost a little bit of room. Now gets the car sideways in front of Jordan Matson. Not much Matson that Krieger could do. He was sideways with company coming. So it doesn't take us long to find the first yellow period. They'll get the field sorted out, get ready to put them back. I'm sure we're going to go 2 by 2 again. All right, now the lights are off on the pace truck. Ready for the restart. Pace truck about to go hard left.
Green flag, green flag.
Oh, green flag. Back in the air. Andy Gross got a good start. He's going to put his nose on the inside. Make it 3 wide down in 1 and 2. Brees trying to hold on. Good run down the back stretch, still side by side. That's going to shuffle things back as Trevor Frank appears to be part of this. Jason Enoch as well. Let's go see what happened to these guys down in here. Enoch's way down on the bottom. Oh, this happened in front of him. Rundle, Soviak, Johnson, Trevor Frank. A bunch of these guys are in this, and cars just being collected. Let's go see if we can figure out what happened with those guys right before all of that. Sobiak down there, Tackman, looks like Rundle and Sobiak a little contact, and then Johnson gets into it. Big chain reaction just like it looked before. So a couple of pace laps left in this one right before we go back to green. A little bit of a rough start here. Back to our double file restart again.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag back in the air. There's no way you're going to hold that guy off. He had the front row. Andy Gross with a big start. He'll have the lead out of turn 2. Now, Fisher looking to the top side. Not enough there. As Brees hangs on to second. Fisher's third. Schilling in fourth. Tackman was fifth. Konjerski in the top 6 right there. That time, Gross shut the door on entry across the nose of the 8 of Peter Brees. Brees got a good run up on the inside down the backstretch now. Little fender action. Not going to shut the door on him this time. Peter Brees muscles his way around, takes the lead back from Andy Gross. Gross going to go top shelf. Brees stayed locked on the inside. Andy Gross dead even into 3. J.J. Schilling dead even with Ryan Fisher. Front 6, 2 wide. Now 3 wide for 4th. Tackman got the car out of shape and had to check it up. He's going to fall back into the 6th spot. Peter Brees still out in front. Gross trying to slide a line higher, not able to do anything there. Schilling still sitting in 3rd. Kinjerski's worked his way into 4th around the inside. Gets the car out of shape, almost into the fence now. Caution. Once again, I think that's Dean Burnt. 17 car with a ton of damage. Let's see what happened to Dean. This was in behind Tackman and company. Got into the corner. He gets close, if not into the left rear corner of the 67, then gets pummeled by the 11 car of Ricky Johnson. As you see Johnson's car up against the outside. So tough sledding at the front, very close quarters, very contact-filled racing at the front of the field. Brees, Gross, Schilling, Fisher, Kinjerski, Tackman, Sobiak, Rundle, Matson, and Brunner, the top 10 right now. Dust starting to hang in the air. Look at your points. Let's see. Sobiek, 7th. Rundle is 8th, and Andy Gross outside that front row. He is sitting position number 2, so chance to close a few points up. He did win his heat race, so that'll be extra points. Coming into next week, things could get pretty tight if the 43 and the 23 do not make their way further forward. All right, lights off on the pace truck. He's headed to the infield this time.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag back in the air. That 14 car with another great restart. Brees drives it down, slides it up the hill. Got enough drive to keep it about half a car going into 3 and 4. Goes way wide this time. Don't think that's going to help him out much. In fact, may going to lose him another spot. He's going to fall to 3rd. Schilling goes around the bottom and takes over 2nd. So it's Gross, Schilling, Brees, Fisher, Tackman, your top 5. That is a big gaggle right there. Around the 15 car of David Kinjerski. Tackman's right there. Rundle, Sobiak. Tackman and Rundle with a touch of contact. Now Sobiak's into the action. Tight racing. Still Gross. Now Brees is fighting back on the inside of Schilling. He's going to take 2nd back. 3 wide in turns 3 and 4. Kinjerski really had to get on the binder, slowed it all up. That moved Tackman into Ryan Fisher. Fisher able to grab the car back up underneath him and hang on to 4th. Andy Gross starting to put a gap on these guys. 3/4 of a second. Schilling and Brees battling 2nd and 3rd. Kinjerski and Fisher side by side for 4th. RJ Tackman on the outside has the 5th position. Make it 6th. Kinjerski has 5th. Rundle's behind him. Sobiak's to his inside. Here comes Jordan Matson from the back. Jordan Matson, winner in the B main, now all the way up inside your top 10. He's in ninth. Gross, 1.3 seconds. Caution. Jason Enoch again, and this time I think the 66 car way more damage than he may be able to get away from, as he's going to come out of 4. Hitchkowski out of shape a little, not bad. Enoch came up the hill, and that really knocked the front end, the fenders, the hood, pretty much the entire car from the firewall forward off, and that puts a 66 on the infield. Zach Krieger still running around 19th, shows 4 laps down. Justin Blackburn in the infield a good 6 laps down. So getting down to it, going to have a green-white checker. Gross, Brees, Schilling, Fisher, Kinjerski, Tackman, Rundle, Sobiak, Matson, and Randy Brunner, your top 10 are right now. But if they picked only one line, then they couldn't cover the whole track all by themselves. So you got to give them A for creativity effort here. This actually has not been a terrible race. Been a lot of action. Everybody's very, very close. And at the end of this season, a whole lot closer in driver ability than when we started several weeks ago. And it has been fun to watch the guys improve. It's been great to see the different drivers come to the front and start to be a threat next season. This thing could be wide open for anyone. Well, we're going to have a green-white checker finish to this. Brees and Gross. And then Schilling and Fisher. Kinjerski and Tackman. Rundle, Sobiak. Matson, Brunner.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag in the air. Peter Brees got a great drive on the outside from turn 4. He's going to have the lead coming out of 2. Andy Gross in all kinds of trouble. He's sliding back all the way to 5th now. Ryan Fisher, J.J. Schilling battling for second. White flag in the air. R.J. Tackman, Andy Gross now. Schilling, half a car into second. Here comes Gross down the bottom, heading into 3 and 4. Does he have enough? Peter Brees is going to pick up the win. Who's going to finish second? At the line, Fisher, Schilling, Gross, and Tackman in that order. So Peter Brees stuns them all and picks up the win tonight at Volusia, with Ryan Fisher and J.J. Schilling second and third behind him. We'll get the guys around here on the front stretch for us. We'll bring them right there. I'll let them get parked. J.J. Schilling going to finish third. So let's grab him. J.J. Schilling, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, a great run. Fantastic 3 wide at the line for you. You come home in third in this one. That's definitely going to give you a little bit of boost in the points here. Tell us how wild the end of this feature was, man.
Andy hit the inside wall and just... It was one of the first few mistakes I ever seen him do, and I kind of tried to capitalize with Ryan, and the 3 wide was pretty fun.
Well, it looked like everybody really racing right on top of each other pretty much the entirety of this feature, and it says a lot of where some of you guys started when you came into this as to where your skill levels are at now. And, you got 6-7 cars right there under a blanket. It's got to be fun doing it, but it's also got to be absolutely nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it's fun doing it. Everyone got better. Nerve-wracking, not so much. I'm just having fun on iRacing.
All right, man, a great run for you here in the street stocks. We're looking forward to seeing what you're going to do back out here in the late models. But who's on the car helping you out before we let you get out of here?
Ski Graphics, Na Auto Trim, Roscoff RV. Yep, that was fun. See you.
Thank you, JJ. Look forward to seeing you in a little bit. All right, JJ Schilling finishes third. We're going to move on. We're going to talk to Ryan Fisher. He comes home second. Ryan, you there, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Well, a great run, man. You kept that car up front from start to finish. You come home second. Talk to us about, especially the late restart, but this feature in general, how much fun it was with everybody kind of running around on top of one another.
Man, those last couple laps were a blast. I mean, I knew my best opportunity off the start was probably to give Peter a big shove out there and hope he could come back and, I could follow him around. And then Andy got a little sideways and I was able to get around him. And then the 3 wides at the finish. I mean, that was some fun racing.
Yeah, it looked like everybody pretty tight all night long, and you really had to fight for your positions. How tough was it to keep that car in the top 3 or 4 all night long?
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, I dropped back to 4th a couple times. My big thing was I was just trying to the high side work. A lot of guys went down low, and then you kind of not crowd them, but kind of got to go get it down the racetrack a little bit there, so they can't get the run off you on the corner, and just hope you can hang in there. But luckily, that top side came in enough at the end.
All right, man. Well, who's on the car helping you out before we let you get out of here and get ready for the late model race?
I want to thank Pink Owl Auto Solutions. They've been my big help through most of my career. Franklin Karting, they some awesome guys. They do everything, kart-wise and help out a lot of people. So there's some awesome guys. And Bo Ambos, he gave me some swag last week. So Snap Pickle Racing, he's a really nice guy. So that's it.
All right, man. Well, thanks for chatting with us. Look forward to seeing you in the late model shortly.
Thank you.
Ryan Fisher in a second. Now he shocked the world. He picks up the win in that 8 car. Peter Brees, are you here, buddy?
I got you, sir.
Well, a shocking finish to this one. You ran good all night long. You come home with the win, man. Talk to us about this entire feature and how tough it was battling to get the win tonight.
Well, I got to start by thanking Ryan Fisher there in that last restart because he gave me that little boost to get past the king of restarts there. But a lot of fun racing. The track, we had a pretty decent high and low groove, so it made it a lot of fun racing. And, once I got in the right spot on the track, I felt like I was moving forward pretty good.
Well, it looked like everything was really tight. Everybody was really close out there, and you and Andy kind of got to going at it a little bit. And then at the end, that last restart, huge for this 8 team. But how much fun was it out there battling in a tight group with all these guys all night long?
I have fun with them each and every week. It's a fun group of guys to run with. I love the league, love the broadcasting with you. So hopefully next season here we have a little more luck compared to this year and make it.
Well, a great run to you, man. Congratulations. Who's on the car helping you out before we let you head for the late model session?
I got my work scrub up car wash and oil change. They help sponsor the league here. DiscountShopTowels.com. And then don't forget the world famous Pinkhorn sliders.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you taking the time. Look forward to seeing you in just a little bit, sir. Good luck in the late models.
Thanks a lot, Roger.
Peter Brees, your winner. Great run for him to almost close out the season. We'll see what he can do next week in the final race there. Brees wins it. Fisher was second. Schilling in third. Gross was fourth. RJ Tackman comes home fifth. Kinjerski was sixth. Nick Sobiak in the 7th spot. Reed Rundle in 8th. Jordan Matson in 9th. Randy Brunner 10th. 11th to Dean Burnt. Chris Johnson 12th. Trevor Frank in 13th. Keegan Bush was 14th. Ricky Johnson 15th. Dean Gagliano in the 16th spot. 17th to Zach Krieger. Tony Itzkowski in 18th. Jason Enoch 19th. And Justin Blackbird rounding out the field. So street stocks, 1 race left. And we'll see. I do not think it updates the points that quickly. I know it does it pretty fast, but I don't know if it updates them that quickly. No, it hasn't really updated much. Actually, it did a little bit. So it's going to be 13 points and 17 points when we head into next week for these guys. So a little tighter, but still think that Mr. Rundle is going to have his shot at this. So we'll see what that brings. We are about to head over to the late model portion of the show. So if you're going to stick around with us, you're only going to have to wait about 15 minutes, and we will be right back, long enough for these guys to set up server for me to make the changes that are needed to go to the other show. Don't forget, once I kick off, about 5 minutes after I go, Dominic Santina will have Dirt Kings, and they will be in the 358 Modifieds at Lanier. So don't forget about that show. Drop by and say hi to Dom. In the meantime, guys, we appreciate you being here. We'll be back in just a few. And until then, keep it dirty. If we don't see you again till tomorrow night, keep it dirty till we see you again. Thanks, guys. Back.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
All right, welcome back, race fans. Dirt Racing Network's continuing coverage of the Hales Corner Speedway Sim Racing League. Limited late models back here at Volusia 20. Drivers have checked in. Second to the last race of the season. We saw a pretty good one out of the guys in the street stocks a little bit ago. Slipped over, grabbed the points up. We do know that the last time we were here, first race of the season, Derek Failing picked up the win. Reed Rundle was second. Jason Schilling, Ryan Fisher, and David Konjerski rounded out the top 5 in the points as they stand now. Andy Gross, 416 markers. Reed Rundle, 407, and Jason Schilling, 385. RJ Chapman, Ryan Fisher, 4th and 5th in the points. Joining me for the second and the final race this evening for Hales Corners, Mr. Zach Krieger. Welcome in, Zach.
Hello. Happy to be here again.
Good to have you with us again to cover these guys. First race, pretty interesting. You got to run in the feature there. Looked like the track got pretty tricky for these guys, so we kind of expect the same thing here in the late models.
Yeah, the race was very difficult for me. Well, to be honest, there was changing track conditions kind of caught me out a little late, but I'm gonna move from that, try to make the feature again next week, and hopefully get some practice in on the off season to be a front runner up in the street stocks. But happy to be here for the last races of the season commentating, and can't wait for this one. This seems to be a good one. Got a really tight pack so far there in practice.
Yep, looks like it's about time for us to turn it over to public address and let them get our pre-race ceremonies out of the way, as these guys are about 1 minute and 10 seconds away from their qualifying session. So take it away, Mr. PA.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
And now, please welcome Pastor Sam Foley from Port Orange, Florida, to deliver tonight's invocation.
Father, we ask today that you protect and bless those who participate in this race. May they use good sportsmanship and respect for each other. And we'll thank you and praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, big thank you to the Foley boys. Once again, drivers on track. Qualifying at the moment right now, RJ Tackman. Quickest. David Konjerski now takes that top spot away by 1/1000th of a second. 16.979 seconds to 16.980. Peter Brees, third quick, 17.040. So only two drivers under 17 seconds. Chris Johnson on track, making a few circuits here, trying to get time on the board so that all 20 cars can record qualifying efforts. 50 laps scheduled for our feature tonight. Long one for these guys. A lot longer than the 25-lap feature we had for the street stocks for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who can run all of those 50 laps and get to the checkered, of course. This is a very difficult track for a lot of these guys, especially with track conditions changing so heavily in the race and throughout the heats. So it's going to be interesting to see who can hold on the longest and get to that checkered flag first.
You got to be consistent. You got to figure out where the grip is at, especially towards the end. These cars do like the slick a little bit, but just not enough horsepower to do much with it. You really got to keep your momentum up, as these are the lowest horsepower of all of the late models. So it is still Kinjerski, Tackman, Brees, your top three, then Trevor Frank and Andy Gross are rounding out the top five in qualifying. Drivers going to have their traditional drivers meeting here. Talk a few things over before they get out here. 20 cars into the service, so 20 cars for the feature. Everyone's going to pass on through. We will have a B main just for starting positions. Gets a few extra laps on the track, as you can see. 0.4 of a mile. Going to be a good one. Only one race left in the season. I think they go back to Charlotte for the final week. I'm not positive about that. Don't quote me on that.
I think it's actually, if I'm pretty sure, I think it's Eldora.
And that could be right. It could be Eldora. I could be thinking of another series that's getting ready to head for Charlotte to close things up. But next week they will determine their champions. We will try to interview the champions as long as we know who they are at the end of the night, whether they have finished in your top three or not in the feature. So these guys with a lot of announcements in the last week or so about what the series is going to do for next season. I do not know how long they're going to be taking off yet. Haven't been able to discuss that with the league admins, but I do believe they are returning to DRN for their coverage next season. So we're excited to work the details out on that, and we'll keep everybody apprised of when they'll be back. But we got one more week. Next Sunday night, wrapping their seasons up. I think I'm wrapping up NDRA as well, so Sunday's going to start to become a little bit more vacated than normal. Right now, 3 heats as they have divided the cars up. I've got, actually make it 2. I've got 10 in each heat. I was wondering about that. That wasn't going to work out for my math, but on the pole for heat race number 1, the Buddies Racing Equipment TDC race team number 43 out of Oxford, Michigan, Reed Rundle. And to the outside of him, his nemesis all season long and your points leader in the series in the Shark RC Bodies Gross Racing number 14 from Hartford, Wisconsin, Andy Gross. Row 2 on the inside, the Scribadub Car Wash Black Flag Racing number 8 out of Waterford, Wisconsin. You watched him win just a few minutes ago in the street stocks, Peter Brees. In that machine on his outside, Niski Graphics number 15, David Kinjerski. Third row on the inside, the Pincala Auto Solutions number 41 out of Oak Creek, Wisconsin, Ryan Fisher. And on the outside of him in the Burnside Motorsports number 55 from Franklin, Wisconsin, John Burnside. Row 4 on the inside, the Buddies Racing Equipment I-41 Raceway number 17 out of Slinger, Wisconsin, Dean Burnt. And to the outside of him in the 46 will be John Brunner. And on the back row, on the inside, in the 66 machine, Jason Enoch. To the outside of him, the RLV Faster Motors VLR number 23 from Big Bend, Wisconsin, Nick Sobiek. So
and
10.
I do just quickly actually want to inject there, actually, as we go back to talking about where we're running. Next week is actually going to finish up at Cedar Lake.
Cedar Lake, okay. Still Red Clay, High Banks. I was close enough.
Yeah.
Ish. We'll throw a heavy ish on that. All right, lights off on the pace truck. Green out of 4. A couple of heavy hitters on the front row of this one. Reed Rundle and Andy Gross, 1 and 2 in the point. I believe 9 markers separating those two. So this race, important tonight. Next week, just as important depending on what happens in this evening. The pace truck is about to duck off and go to the infield. Heat 1 about to be underway. Green flag in the air. We are racing. Hales Corner Speedway Sim Racing Series limited late models at Volusia. And Reed Rundle wasted no time snatching the lead away from Andy Gross. It checked up Kinjerski on the outside of 2. Peter Brees will settle into 3rd. Ryan Fisher into 4th. And it's a mad scramble behind that with Dean Burnt, John Burnside, Jason Enoch, and company battling from 4th, 5th on back. As we got one in the books, and Rundle with about a car and a half length lead into 3 and 4. Gross looking down the inside, nothing doing. Reed Rundle leads lap 2.
And Andy Gross is going to keep staying right on the back of Reed Rundle. If he gets one opportunity, he knows he's going to have to take it. This is a very fast heat. All of these drivers, I think actually all of these drivers in both heats, best of the best. And you can see Reed Rundle here down in the turn 1. Everybody is sort of starting to single file out, but there's going to be some challenges here and there as guys are going to start getting a little high, a little loose potentially. It's going to be interesting to see where the fights will be on track.
Well, 5th place, Dean Burnt. If he can hang on there, he knows he's got a pretty decent spot in the feature. Should start inside of row number 5. He's trying to keep the 17 car right there. He's in front of Nick Sobiak. Sobiak from the back all the way up to position number 6 now, as we are not quite halfway home, starting lap 6 of 12. Enoch in 7th, Kinjerski in 8th, Burnside 9th, and Brunner, the 46 of John Brunner, running way back here in 10th. He's coming out of turn 2. Your leaders are coming out of turn 4. Halfway home in the heat race number 1, and Gross now has a challenge from Peter Brees headed into turns 1 and 2.
Going down the back stretch here, Brees has looked very strong out of these final 2 corners. He's going to try to throw it a little lower than Gross through the corner. He's going to side-by-side up with him. Going down in the turn 2, this might be where Brees gets it. Got to keep an eye on this battle as Brees gets a little squirmy. So does Gross, and it seems as if Brees is going to just inch his way in front of him coming out of 4.
The new 2nd place car, the 8 car, Peter Brees. Brees showing some strength late in the season here, especially tonight here at Volusia. Something about this track maybe fitting his driving style. Andy Gross has fallen into 3rd. Then Ryan Fisher and Dean Burnt starting to challenge a little bit. And Burnt really had to jump on the binders right there. That may hurt him as Fisher got out of shape, found the wall down the front stretch, and then Sobiak got up under the back of him. So nobody's safe in the top 5 right now. Burnt finds himself into the 4th spot. Sobiak around Fisher into 5th. Fisher, your first car on the outside of that top 5 as we're down to 2 to go.
You keep an eye here on this battle for the last transfer spot. 23 Nick Sobiak just has it for now. But you can't count out Ryan Fisher or David Kinjerski quite yet. So they're going to head down in the 1 and 2. It's going to be a close battle as it looks like Fisher might try to throw it in. Doesn't get it out of 2. Let's see if there's going to be any challenge. Going through 3, Fisher throws it a little low. Just can't get the position right away. Coming on now. Oh, that was
Reed Rundle picked up the win. Peter Brees, Andy Gross, Dean Burnt, Nick Sobiak, your top 5. Then Fisher, Kinjerski, Burnside, Enoch, and Brunner will round it out the field as we get ready to head for heat race number 2. On the pole is going to be the 18th car of Jordan Matson. To his outside, the 1 of J.J. Schilling. Second row on the inside, the Raceway Hats Team MAS number 021 from Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Trevor Franken on the outside of him in the Renegade Race Cars. Renegade Racing number 67 out of Hartford, Wisconsin, R.J. Tackman. Row 3 inside, the CJR Pride of Tosa number 64 from Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, Randy Brunner. And on the outside of him in the Sorens Ford, number 11, is Ricky Johnson out of Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. Fourth row inside, the Shark RC Car Bodies. Number 112 out of Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, Chris Johnson. And his outside, the Wilkie's Auto Service Handmade Motorsports Sim Team at number 20 from Genesee, Wisconsin, Eric Wilkie. And on the back row, on the inside, the GB Restoration and Repair number 77 from East Troy, Wisconsin, Gary Budzine. And his outside in the 27 machine, Keegan Bush. And what do you know? That 77 machine actually on track for this one. So it won't be the 27 for Bush. It will be the 20 car, the 20 But Matson and Schilling on the front row.
A lot of fast guys in this race, in this heat. It's going to be interesting to see who will be able to get the job done here and move to the instant qualifier. 5 go through. So we will have 5 that are going to go to the B main and 10 car B main.
Yeah, all of those guys will transfer. They're just going to be racing for their final starting position into that feature. So it's a formality. It's going to put a bunch of extra laps on the track, which is good. That'll bring the racing surface to a little bit better quality for the feature. I saw the flag man pick up the green flag. He's ready to wave it at the field. Matson and Schilling on the front row. Coming out of 4, green flag is imminent. There it is. Heat race number 2 is underway. And they're going to be side by side heading into turn 1 on the first lap.
So they head into turn 1. Matson gets really out of shape. It's going to allow JJ Schillings to squeeze his way through on the top side. We're going to look heading into turn 3 and 4. Can Matson get that position back? It seems as if he has the run, and he does on Schillings. After lap 1, it's going to be Matson. No, yeah, Matson in the lead with Schillings second. Ackman now going to be trying for that second spot. Frank down in 4th. So they're going to be going 3 wide almost out of 4 as they head towards turn 1.
Matson's going to hang on to the lead. Schilling's going to hold in 2nd. Tackman 3rd. Frank 4th. Randy Brunner, the 64 machine, going to sit in that 5th spot right there. Chris Johnson just a little ways back off of him. Then it's a pretty good back to Ricky Johnson in that pink number 11 car right in front of Gary Budzine. Those two 6th and 7th. Or 7th and 8th, excuse me, as they are about a half a second off of Chris Johnson. Keegan Bush still rolling around back here 9th, but having a little bit of trouble with that car. Eric Wilkie, 3 laps down, already in the infield. Not even sure if he started the race or not. But it is a mad scramble for 2nd and 3rd right now. 4th, 5th, and 6th as Chris Johnson has worked his way back in at 6 cars, almost under a blanket. Kind of single file, kind of double file. Just depends on what part of the corner they're in right now as we're coming to the halfway point in heat race number 2. Matson's still out in front.
And Schilling's under a little bit of pressure here from RJ Tackman. Gotta wonder how he's going to deal with that pressure. So they're going to head into turn 1 here. It seems as if Tackman just gets a better run out of the corners, but Schilling gets a better entry. Oh, there's going to be a little contact there. Coming out of 2, that's going to allow Tackman to try to slide past Schillings, who was all out of shape heading into 3, but Schillings gets it back under control, and he's actually going to go for a move on Jordan Matson. That's not going to work out. There's going to be some contact with all of them. Schillings gets out of whack. Matson drops down to 3rd, and that's going to leave RJ Tackman to jump up to the front, followed by that 21 of Jordan Frank, but Jordan Matson's not going to let this go easily as he's going to challenge Frank into turn 1.
And a lot of contact between the 18 and the 1 car a couple of laps ago, and it shook up the front of the field. Tackman now to the front. Frank and Matson battling for 2nd. Matson on the inside, just not able to keep that 18 car on its angle and keep it locked down against that inside wall. Frank tried to check up, tried to cut underneath, and J.J. Schilling was already there. He ends up in it with Randy Brunner. Brunner going to roll the car away. Luckily had a big gap back to 6th. So he's able to roll the car away. So we are inside. 3 to go, down to about a lap and a half now. As Tackman has started to gap these guys. Almost a full second over Matson. Frank is going to be in 3rd. It is a long way back from Frank to Schilling. Call it about 3.5 seconds. As J.J. Schilling still sitting in the 4th spot. Brunner hanging on to 5th. Keegan Bush. Oh, backwards in front of your leaders. That could mess things up. Tackman missing. I think Matson got him, but it isn't going to matter. Tackman wins it. Matson 2nd. Frankie in 3rd. J.J. Schilling in 4th. And Randy Brunner going to come home 5th. We're going to see Bush, Johnson, Budzine, and Wilkie when we get to our B main here in just a second. So things a little wild at the end of this one. Lap cars everywhere. So they will move it right along. Scheduled for 10 cars in our B main.
think there's actually only going to be 9 cars in the B main.
There may end up being less than that. I'm not sure yet. But right now it's supposed to be Chris Johnson, David Konjerski in row 1. Row 2, Keegan Bush and Ryan Fisher. Row 3, John Burnside and Ricky Johnson. Row 4, Jason Enoch, Gary Budzine. And your fifth and final row scheduled to be Brunner and Wilkie. I don't see 8th and 10th in this grid. So Budzine and Wilkie. And now I'm making the car going to end up with 18. In the feature. And these guys really just racing for starting spot. They're all going through to that next 50-lap session.
Be interesting to see who will get the highest up starting position in the feature, as all these guys are going to be going for the farthest up spot. A lot of fast guys in this feature, in this B main, sorry. Guys like Chris Johnson, David Konjerski, front row, very fast front row. All of the guys, if I'm being honest, are super fast. It's going to be a really good fight, we hope, for what will be the win of the B main.
So it looks like our Super Bowl is going to be set here in a couple of weeks down in Florida, and it's going to be Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs. So that'll be interesting. But right now, 15 laps on the board. Ready to go green out of turn 4. Johnson, Konjerski, row 1 right here for Hales Corner Speedway Sim Racing League Late Model Series. B main time, everybody transferring through. It is time to go green flag racing. Right there is your green flag.
Very early green flag, got some guys off. Konjerski going to challenge it into turn 1. He's going to clear as you get the 11 spinning in the back. Konjerski, though, takes the lead from the 112, Chris Johnson. Johnson's going to challenge him. Coming back out of 4. He's not. It's going to be Konjerski, Johnson, Burnside, Fisher, and the 66 Jason Enoch will be your top 5, as the 41 of Ryan Fisher got really out of whack after a little bumping from John Burnside. Seems as if still going to be a fight here up at the front between Konjerski and Johnson. Chris Johnson wants that first place back, and he might get it here out of 2. Takes the low line, gets a little slower exit. Konjerski, though, doesn't pull up alongside him through 3 and 4. Seems as if it is going to be Chris Johnson who will take the lead and will lead on the lap bar.
Yeah, Konjerski's going to fight back on the top side. Too much momentum. It's just a matter of time. Johnson really wasn't keeping the car very straight there. Good battle. Just not able to hang on and hold off the momentum on the top side as Konjerski's got the 15 car rolling pretty smooth now. He takes the spot back. Johnson second. Enoch still third. But he's got Burnside right behind him. And I think Burnside may be willing to settle in and just ride right here. See if Enoch forces a mistake on himself. Ryan Fisher's going to settle into 5th. Then it's Brunner, Ricky Johnson, and Keegan Bush is going to wreck the 27 car again. Having all kinds of trouble in that 27 machine. Keeping it facing forward. But we have completed 6 of the 15, and Konjerski's still in front of Chris Johnson.
Chris Johnson seems to get a little loose off the corners. I think he's started to get it back under control. It's the track conditions do really get difficult near the B main and the A main, and a lot of these drivers are really good at keeping these cars under control, and we're seeing that right now. Konjerski out in the lead with Johnson just trying to get back to him. Little fight back, farther back in the for 5th place. It seems as if the 55 of Burnside was at the 41 of Fisher. Now Fisher is actually going to be going after the 66 Jason Enoch for 3rd place.
Yeah, these 3 have been going at it for a couple of laps now, and no real contact, just a whole lot of close quarters racing. As Fisher got around Burnside, took a look, really put a good slide job in on Enoch. Enoch was able to counter it, down to 5 to go this time by. We're watching the battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th right here. As the battle at the front is kind of settled out. Quarter second between Konjerski and Johnson. Here comes Fisher with that slide job again. Not able to get it there. Had to really square the car up getting into 1. It took a lot of his momentum, so he is going to have to settle back into 4th. as Jason Enoch hanging on to the third spot. Burnside falling a little bit further behind these guys. Right in front of John Brunner there. As we keep our eyes on the 41 and the 66. They made a little contact in turn 2 there. So we're coming down to the 3 to go mark.
Coming 2-3 to go. These guys have been just going at it for the past 3, 4, 5 laps. This is what you get with the Hales Corners Sim Racing League. Close quarters racing, respectful racing. A great thing to be a part of, as we see Fisher trying to get the high line on Enoch. Enoch just has a little more pull out of the corner. Seems as if fight may settle down a little bit, but as I say that, Ryan Fisher gets a run on that top side on Enoch as they're going to head to the white flag here.
That looks like what Fisher needed. He needed that run to get to the high side, was able to make it work through 3 and 4. David Kinjerski out in front. He's going through 3 and 4 for the last time in the B main. He's going to the A main with a B main victory. Chris Johnson second, and it looks like Fisher's going to clear Enoch. He's going to come home third. Enoch in fourth, then Burnside, John Brunner in sixth, Ricky Johnson, and Keegan Bush will round out the field. So 50 laps is all that remains. Our A main 20 cars going to line up to do battle here. And it'll be on the pole, the 64 machine of Randy Brunner to his outside, Nick Sobiek in the 23. Row 2, J.J. Schilling, the 1 car, the 17 of Dean Burnt. Third row, Trevor Frank, the 021 on the inside, Andy Gross in the 14 on the outside. Jordan Mattinson inside of row number 4 with Peter Brees on the outside of that row. Then R.J. Tackman inside 5 with Reed Rundle on his outside. Row 6, Kinjerski inside, Johnson outside. They came from the B. The 7th row, Ryan Fisher and Jason Enoch inside and out. Row 8, John Burnside and John Brunner. 455 and the 46. Ricky Johnson will start inside row 9 with Keegan Bush on his outside. And then Gary Budsey and Eric Wilkie scheduled but not making an appearance. 18 cars for 50 laps here. Caution laps do not count. Big shakeup in this field here. And I can tell you right now that the 6th and 8th starting spots, we need to watch those 2 guys for sure, Gross and Rundle. They battled pretty good in the heat race, and I think Rundle had the best of it. But they're all going to be chasing Nick Sobiek here for quite a while, unless J.J. Schilling can make a run and get up there and take the lead pretty early. Should be interesting. Go ahead.
Definitely. Sorry, it's definitely going to be an interesting heat. You got 18 very fast guys on this grid who all will be looking to take the checkered flag first and get into the winner's circle, as they are going to be pulling now onto the back stretch for the final time today under pacing. So we are going
I don't know about all that. Final time as the field forms up to go green for 50 laps here maybe. But I do think we'll see a caution or 2 just because it's the nature of the track. But Brunner and Sobiek get the green flag. We are underway, 50 laps. The Hales Corner Speedway Sim Racing League limited late model portion of our show. Second to the last race. Right now, Sobiek finds his way out to the front down the backstretch and through 3 and 4 to lead lap number 1. Randy Brunner in second, then J.J. Schilling in third. Now, Andy Gross has Dean Burnt on the outside. That's for fourth. Side by side, the 17 and the 14 down the backstretch on lap number 2. Right in front of Trevor Frank. Still Sobiek, Brunner, Schilling, then Gross, Burnt, Frank, Brees, Matson. As we work lap 2 down the backstretch, and Nick Sobiek starting to get away from these guys already.
That's a very common thing watching Nick Sobiek these last few weeks, is when he gets into a groove, he gets going. As we look a little farther back, J.J. Schilling going to have a run here on Randy Brunner. Schilling's been all over the pickup runner for these last 3 laps, and it's going to be interesting to see what he will do, as he's going to take it low here through 4. Doesn't look like he gets anything quite yet, Brunner maybe saving up run for a bit, a little farther back in the pack. The 8 of Peter Bree is trying to get past the... It's going to be the 17 of Dean Byrne. It seems as if he does clear him as they're going to slide into the corner, and very clean at the start. Saying that though, I'm probably going to jinx it.
Happens every once in a while. Matson out of shape in 2. Matson running in the 8th spot back here. That's the 18 car on the inside. He's right in front of Chris Johnson. That's 9th. Ryan Fisher is 10th. Reed Rundle stuck back here in 11th. You see a little damage on the left rear corner of the 15 to Konjerski. That's 12th. RJ Tackman at 13. Jason Enoch, Ricky Johnson, John Burnside, John Brunner, and Keegan Bush just took his car to the infield, so he will be out of the way. 17 cars still on track. Nick Sobiak in front of everybody right now. He has built up a 1.3 second lead. No cautions thus far. Working lap 8 of 50, and there's our first one. Jordan Matson. And I was wondering, Matson kept getting out of shape, and I was wondering if anything was going to come out of that. Everybody was giving him a lot of room. He went down into 1 and 2. A little hot, got in there, got it too far sideways. Didn't leave Dean Burton and Chris Johnson anywhere to go. And they go ahead and finish him off. Then Ricky Johnson comes along, puts a little bit of extra left side damage on that 18 car. Everybody able to roll the cars away. Matson will rejoin the field, but that will settle things down at least for the time being.
And a little extra calamity from that wreck. Reed Rundle went through avoiding it. Did tap the right side of his car on the wall. It seems as if he kept it going though. Wanted to give a big shout out to Andy Gross from 6th to 3rd already on this grid. You said someone to keep an eye on. Another person who is running relatively having a good day is Ryan Fisher from 13th to 7th. Some big climbers in this race.
Well, yeah, looks like right now Randy Brunner having a really good run. You're not used to seeing the 64 car stay at the front, especially after 10 or 15 laps of one of these. Usually he has slid back through the field, but right now Randy Brunner having a good run. He's running up at the front, was hanging on 2 second right there as the field will reform and get ready to go. Back to green. Still 39 laps remain in this one. Long ways to go, but if we get another good, long, settled-in green run like we started with, this thing could go by pretty quickly.
Indeed, as the pace truck will pull off here just a second. Watch that 3rd place car, the restart king Andy Gross, seeing if he can get a run into turn 1, maybe try to make it 3 wide.
Green
The
flag,
pace truck
green
does
flag.
pull off, green flag comes out, Kosobiak gets a jump. Runner very, very slow on that start.
Big
Gross
contact.
gonna take that in 2nd place, has got big contact.
Frank and Brunner got into each other. Andy Gross flipped through into 2nd. That put a battle for 3rd. Frank and Brunner got into each other going down into 1. They're going to get it settled down here. Frank is going to have 3rd at the line and Brunner right behind. Now more contact between the 21 and the 64. This may not be over just yet. We'll keep our eyes on these two, as it seems like they are more willing to trade the paint early in the going in this one.
All right, man. Caution is out.
Caution comes in behind. Is that RJ Tackman that's into this?
It looks like it.
The 67 car here. He's down on the inside, down the backstretch, right up behind Chris Johnson. He got down the corner. Johnson got sideways. He checks up. Peter Brees couldn't see around him. And those two cars with a simultaneous pirouette in turn 4. So no intentional contact, nothing heinous. I just think a little checkup for the car sideways in front. The guy behind couldn't see through the machine, and sometimes you'll get that in big time late model racing.
Yep. It's a tough break for those guys, but it is what it is, as they are going to meet the pace truck off of turn 4, and they're going to get ready, forming up for 2 to go here. Sorry, 1 to green, actually, I'm pretty sure. No, 2 to green. My mistake.
Yeah, 2 to green light still on the pace truck. So the guys just kind of forming around and getting side by side here. Look out. Gross up to second, but look on the outside of row number 3. Here comes Reed Arundel. He's working his way forward in this field. J.J. Schilling still sitting there in 7th.
Going to be an interesting restart to see who can get the jump early. Of course, Gross starting on that outside row. So I've already alluded to restart master got the jump after last restart. Interesting to see if he can take the lead away from Nick Kosobiak this time. But keep an eye on, you said Reed Rundle, both guys in the second row. Trevor Frank, Randy Brunner, both very fast as well today. I think all of these guys are really getting a hold of this car and getting ahead of this car today, and everybody's setting it up well, and I think we're going to have a good fight at the green.
All right, pace truck will make the hard left. Sobiek, Gross on our front row for the restart. Still 33 laps to go. Green flag back in the air. Once again, Andy Gross, the best in the business on the restarts. He is going to have the lead as they go into 1 and 2, but Sobiek going to fight back. Little contact there. Little trading of the paint down in turn 2. It's going to keep Gross out in front. Sobiak still trying to fight there. Brunner hanging on to 3rd right in front of Frank. Now Reed Arundel up to 5th. Brunner wide out of 2. That's going to open the door. A lot of momentum coming from the cars behind him. Frank's going to get around into 3rd. Brunner back to 4th. Here comes Reed Arundel. He's going to challenge for that spot.
We're actually going to have a challenge for the lead here as well, as Nick Sobiak had a run through 1 and 2, and he might have it coming up to 3 and 4 here. It seems as if he's going to keep it a little higher than Gross on entry, get a little lower on an exit, a little faster run. It seems potentially not a bit. So we're looking, still keeping an eye on this battle. A little contact between Brunner and Rundle as well. A little farther back. They both keep it straight. They both keep it clean.
3 wide behind Rundle now. That is 5th place. Brunner out of shape. He's going to collect Chris Johnson. That may be a caution coming. We will wait to see cars all over the place, and there it is. I was afraid that was coming. Brunner got roughed up a little bit. He was 3 wide with Tackman in the middle, and Fisher was on the bottom. He got out of shape. He collects Chris Johnson. Then he gets hammered by Ricky Johnson. And that car does a little half roll, rolls back to its wheels. Whole lot of damage on the 64. He may be finished. Too much to contend with.
Yep. As Andy Gross takes the lead off of that last green flag run, he will lead the pack to green again for the first time tonight. They are starting to collect back together. Good racing night. A lot of racing here up at the front, and
been a lot of close quarters racing throughout the whole evening. As we're approaching the halfway point now in this feature, you can see dust hanging in the air all around the track, and that will affect what the drivers are seeing. But, you know, Andy Gross, Nick Sobiek, Trevor Frank, Reed Rundle, RJ Tackman, Ryan Fisher, JJ Schilling, David Konjerski, Jason Enoch, Peter Brees. That's your top 10. And all these guys have been all over each other all night long. And we've seen a little contact here, a little contact there. But right now, everybody keeping their emotions in check and putting on a pretty good show.
They are, as the lights go out on the base truck. We will be going green this lap. Again, like you said, Gross and Kosobiak on that front row, with Frank and Rundle on the second. It's going to be a good start, if I can say so myself.
All right, let the pace truck get a little bit out in front. He'll head for the pits. Green flag right at the halfway point. Get this thing back underway.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag back in the air. Good start for Sobiek. He's going to have the advantage in 1 and 2. It looks like, unless Gross just drives it through there, and Gross does. Andy Gross not afraid to put the throttle in it. Try to force that back end out in front. and block the line on exit. Sobiak's going to fight back. We're going to see the same move again down here in 1 and 2. Gross really drove it in deep. Sobiak ready for it the second time. Cuts underneath. Battle for the lead. Right on the restart, Nick Sobiak. Out of turn 4. Can he hang on to the car? He doesn't have the lead just yet, but a great battle at the front. Gross, Sobiak, Tackman, Rundle, your top 4. 28. Lap number 28 being worked down the backstretch right now.
And Rundle made it 3 wide at the restart. He was looking up to get some positions. He was up 3rd for a second and then got shuffled back down, going 3 wide into turn 1. He's going to be sitting still in 4th place. Didn't lose a position, didn't gain a position, so it's a win. But for Frank, right on his tail, as Frank's going to shoot a little low here. Rundle goes a little up the track to get some space, and Frank is still going to apply the pressure here in the 1 and 2. Sobiak as well, getting close to Gross. But it doesn't look like he has the run off the back stretch quite yet.
The track hasn't widened out enough to allow guys to move around a whole lot just yet. So everybody kind of hanging right above the slick line, keeping the momentum up. Kinjerski's trying to work around that top side and keep Frank pinned down there on the inside. This time has to go real wide through 3 and 4. Really had to slow the 15 car down to keep it there. Battle again at the front. Sobiak's got himself up on the inside. Little contact. He tried to slow Gross down right there. He might have got the job done. They're going to come out of 4 side by side. Sobiak with the lead at the line of that time by. Now goes through the slick. Comes across in front of the 14 car. Nick Sobiak. Back to the point. Worked hard to get it there. Now he's got it clean and clear. Car and a half lead. 32 in the books. 33 in the books now. 17 to go as they work off a 2 down the backstretch.
That 67 car of RJ Tackman also going to get into the fray here. It almost looked like he was starting to challenge Andy Gross coming out of 2 there, as he's going to stay right on the back of Gross, making sure he can stay there and pick up the pieces of something. Have caution comes out.
8 car Peter Brees, 112 of Chris Johnson. We'll see what happened to these boys. Brees all by himself. He and Fisher get together, get him out of shape. He's just trying to get the car back under him, and Chris Johnson was there. And so that is going to put things back in perspective. Starting to get into a pretty good rhythm there, these guys were. Your battle for the lead had really started to square away, I think. Sobiak was starting to assert himself a little bit there. This is going to be another restart. You're going to have Gross on the outside this time.
They will start to head through the first corner here. About 2 to go. It's very interesting to see Gross starting on the outside. Of course, he's going to get a really good run off the start. So it'll be good to see if he can get a good restart. If Sobiak looks strong this entire night, it's going to be interesting to see what he's going to do to keep the lead. I bet there's going to be a fight all the way to the checkered flag here from these guys.
Yeah, lights should go off on the pace truck. Should have 13 to go when we get the green. Have to watch our restart.
Yep, as they do, the lights go out. We will be going green this time by Sobiak, Gross, Tackman, Frank, and Rundle. Your top 5 starts, or top 5. That's going to be Kinjerski, Matson, Schilling, and Fisher. Your top 9, and Burnt will be 10th. Sorry about that. As we watch the pace truck, he will take his leave on the pit lane.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag comes out because Sobiak again gets a decent jump alongside Gross as they head into turn 1. Gross, little bounce there.
Oh, Sobiak, too hot.
Like you said, Sobiak, little bad exit. There's going to be a little contact there for second. Sobiak and Frank, or Tackman, yeah, Frank. Going to do it as actually Trevor Frank is going to be challenging for the lead here, coming out of turn 2. He gets pushed back a little bit, back into Kasobiak. Kasobiak is going to be trying to wheel his way past them as they're going to be going 3 wide off of turn 4. Rundle trying to also get that 4th place spot. He's going to have to focus now on the 15 of Dave Konjerski and the 1 of JJ Schilling. But at the front, Andy Gross got the jump, used the fighting behind him, start to get a little gap, got about a 0.3 second gap to the cars behind.
Yeah, these restart may have done it. Gross may be able to hang on from here as Sobiak little hot into 2 and then got himself roughed up down in 3 and 4, and now he's got to work on getting around Frank, and he's got no time to sit back and wait for a mistake. He's going to have to get in here, put some pressure on Trevor Frank, as Frank doesn't look like he is in any position to run down that 14 car. So Gross, Frank, Sobiak, Tackman, Rundle, your top 5 right now. There goes a peek to the inside. Sobiak trying to show the nose to the 21 car and either light a fire under him or cause a mistake so he can get around him. He'd like to go back after the 14, and he's running out of lap 6 to go this time by. Battle behind JJ Schilling and Reed Rundle. That is for 5th as Schilling out of shape. Going to give up the spot. Here comes Konjerski to the top side. That is 5th, 6th, and 7th. Right there in that battle. They're going to be 3 wide for a split second out of 4. Rundle falling back just a little bit here, giving up spots. He's going to go slide job reversal for Konjerski now. He's running 6th. Schilling is still in 5th. We're going back towards the front. Sobiak working his way around Trevor Frank now, trying to get second away. 4 to go. So they work down the backstretch and nothing doing there. Trevor Frank able to hang on as we're going to get the 3 to go signal right here from the flagman.
Gross still out front here, able to hold it. Sobiak looking fast a little bit. Going to be interesting to see if he has anything else for Trevor Frank as they run cleanly. Started to straighten out a bit now. So we head on to 2 to go here. Gross still out in the lead. Frank, Sobiak, Tackman, and Schilling, your top 5.
Reed Rundle settled into 6th, and now Ryan Fisher and David Konjerski battling for 6th and 7th. But the white flag is in the air. Andy Gross took it. He goes through 1 and 2. He's got a pretty comfortable lead, about half a second over Trevor Frank. Frank right in front of Sobiak. Here we come through 3 and 4 for the final time. Andy Gross going to win at Volusia. He picks up the win. Trevor Frank 2nd. Nick Sobiak in 3rd. Then Tackman and Schilling. So we'll get our top 3 around here, see if we can have a chat with them. I don't see Trevor Frank in the chat, but we'll give him a moment to get here as we wait to see if we can get the top 3 on the front stretch.
Andy Gross doing some celebratory donuts on the front stretch.
Yeah.
The good finish.
Right out of the cars, so we aren't going to mess around too long. We're going to get these guys rewound here where I can get some images and I think that's probably about as good as it's going to get right there. Nick Sobiak in 3rd. Get Nick in the channel. We're going to get Andy Gross up there. I don't see 2nd place right now, but we'll give him a moment. See if Trevor Frank makes his way over here. If not, then we'll talk to 3rd and 2nd, or 3rd and 1st, as we get Nick Sobiak. You there, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Well, a good run, man. You battled hard all night long up at the front. You come home on the bottom step of the podium. Tell us about your feature tonight.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Didn't qualify good. I tapped the wall, so yeah, I came back, went from 10th to 5th in my heat race, and then I finished 3rd. I was running good with Andy Gross. Led a few laps. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, had the lead out there for a bit. Really had to work, and you and Andy kind of traded a little paint there. Just hard to pass one lane as we kind of got into the middle of the feature here, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It made for a really good racing, though. Really tight racing.
Still, you come home onto the podium, man, and a great run for you should help you out just a little bit. Maybe not a lot in the points, but should secure you a pretty good finishing position. Who do you got to thank for helping you out all season long?
I want to thank Chris Johnson, Jimmy's mom, VLR Chassis, RLV Motorsports, Cheez-Its, my mom, my dad, and my sister, and Jimmy Neutron.
Jimmy Neutron. There's one I haven't heard in a cool minute. A fantastic run for you, man. We appreciate you taking the time, and we look forward to seeing you close the season out strong next week.
All right. Thank you.
Nick Sobiek, and I swear I heard him thank somebody else's mom a second ago. I really don't know what that's about, and it's kind of creepy to me a little bit. But Trevor Frank's going to come home in second, unable to get an interview with Trevor, so we will move on to Mr. Andy Gross. Always fun getting Andy up in the booth and talking to him about a win. He picks up another one here. Andy, you there?
I got you, Roger.
Well, you pick up another victory, man. You're going to help your points lead out quite a bit. You may be able to just take a victory lap next Sunday night in this series. Tell us about your feature and how much fun it was battling at the front to get the lead.
Yeah, I mean, we had a good battle, Nick and I. You know, we raced each other clean, and, you know, I have a lot of respect for Nick, and I'm glad that we came on top tonight.
Yeah, it looked like you guys really had a lot of fun out there, and it was tough passing each other. Kind of had to do things that, normally we might consider a little aggressive, but, hard slide job, park the car in front of a guy. Always able to trust the guy when you do that here?
Yeah, I mean, most of the guys you can trust, and I mean, it's a great group of guys to race with, and this is probably the hardest track, in my opinion, to race on, and by far not one of my favorites. And, you know, I kind of stepped on my willy there in the street stock and definitely didn't want to have that happen again.
All right, man, who do you got to give some shout-outs to before we let you celebrate a great victory tonight?
Yeah, like always, I want to thank Kate from Henco Waterjet Supply. I want to thank Ski Graphics, Dave Kajerski, Paul Peterson from Shark RC Bodies, my wife for letting me do this on a Sunday night. I want to give a shout out to all the guys at the bait shop watching tonight. I want to thank my mother-in-law, my dad, and I saw my brother was watching tonight. Scrub It Up Car Wash, and I'm really excited to have Brian Hamer come on board for next year at B&H Builders and the discount shop towels. So that'll be pretty neat for next year, and obviously having you in the broadcast booth, it makes for a great night of watching some racing.
All right, man. Well, thanks for chatting with us, and we look forward to seeing you close this thing out next week, buddy.
Thanks, Roger. Thanks for everything. And then one shout out to Scrub It Up Car Wash for the broadcast and the sponsorship this season, and have a good night, Roger.
All right, your winner tonight, Andy Gross. Let's run through the final results. Gross wins it. Frank was second. Sobiek third. Tackman in fourth. Schilling was fifth. Reed Rundle sixth. Ryan Fisher was seventh. Eighth to David Konjerski. Jordan Matson in ninth. Dean Burnt in 10th. Peter Reese was 11th. 12th to Chris Johnson. Jason Enoch in 13th. 14th to John Brunner. Randy Brunner finishes 15th. Ricky Johnson 16th. John Burnside 17th. Keegan Bush in 18th. Gary Budzine and Eric Wilkie did not make the call, but they were credited with 19th and 20th finishes. Want to say thank you to Zach Krieger for being in the booth with me again this week. Always fun having you here, man. Next week we close the season out.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting race at Cedar Lake. Of course, a track that we've been to many times, a newer track to iRacing, so it's going to be interesting to see how these guys get around it. Of course, we got some new people who may not have run it, myself included, in the street stock, so it's going to be a fun event to see. I will have a good race, hopefully, make you guys proud. I will see you guys next week for the Late Model Series.
All right, thanks for joining us, Zach. Look forward to talking to you next week, buddy.
You too.
All right, that is going to do it for us here tonight. Guys, don't forget that Dominic has Dirt Kings over on the Facebook channel right now, 358 Mods at Lanier. Tomorrow night, he will have Dirt Slingers 360 Wing Sprint cars from Lanier, 8 o'clock Eastern, and then something new right after that. You're going to have to tune in for the General Tires Winter Nationals, presented by Tim's Dirt Track Simulators, Dirt Slingers Racing League, and the Dirt Racing Network. That'll kick off probably around 9:30 or so Eastern. Hopefully we'll be able to put that thing in. It's going to be at Eldora. They're going to have 8 weeks there. They're going to crown a track champion, a Winter Nationals champion. Got a lot of big names going in there. Some final details being worked out tomorrow as they get ready to put it on the track for the first time tomorrow night. For myself and Dominic Santina here at the Dirt Racing Network, guys, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget your likes, your shares, your follows, and your subscriptions. Till we see you the next time, everybody. Keep it dirty. Good night.